Destiny 2 is a game that got off to a bit of a rocky start, and well, a rocky everything else. Fans have been clamouring for changes ever since the game launched late last year, and it seems every move Bungie has made has been incredibly unpopular. You'd have thought with all these steps in the wrong direction, it wouldn't be that hard to make at least one step in the right direction, right?
Destiny 2 has had a rough time with numerous controversies and issues plaguing the game since launch. There's been issues with microtransactions, overpriced DLC, and people are generally unhappy with how the game is progressing. And now the latest in a long line of Destiny problems revolves around an emote. Recently, the Destiny community spotted a new bundle for sale in Destiny 2's Eververse store. The Eververse, which is Destiny's microtransaction store, is selling an item called the Iron Emote Bundle. The bundle features one Fireteam medallion, one gleaming boon of the Crucible, and a new emote called Salute of the Lords. But the thing is, the only way to get this bundle is by purchasing it with silver, Destiny 2's microtransaction currency.
The bundle sells for 1,100 silver, which works out at about $10 in real life money, and it appears there's no other way to get this emote. At the time of recording, the emote doesn't appear in engram drops, and it's not available to buy as part of any vendor's loot pool. The only way to get this emote is by paying real, actual cash. As expected, this didn't sit well with the Destiny community, who have said locking an emote behind a paywall is one of the dumbest things you can do. And given the emote revolves around the Iron Lords, a big part of the Destiny lore for those interested, hardcore Destiny fans really aren't happy about this. Bungie have since confirmed on the game's subreddit that the emote does not drop anywhere else, but they are taking feedback into account. Imagine going to someone's house, never been there before, and they say, hey, Jake, do you want a cup of tea? And I say, yeah, I'd love one, please. 2 sugars, thanks. They bring me the tea over, no sugar in it. It's all right. And they say, oh, don't worry, next time I'll do it. And then they bring me another cup of tea a day later. There's no sugar in it. And I say, oh, it's all right, just I have 2 sugars, I do. And they say, oh, it's okay, I'm taking your feedback into account, Jake. And then over the next week, I go every day and they never put sugar in my cup of tea. That's what this is. That's what it's the equivalent of. It's so annoying.
But you paid to get into the house in the first place. That's the thing.
I'm buying it.
You paid for the tea in the first place. That's the.
This is the irritating thing. I was reading this and I was thinking, yeah. Destiny, Bungie making a big mistake, ha ha ha. Till I read the feedback thing and I was like, oh my god, I've heard that every time. Day 1, Day 2, Week 1, DLC 1, DLC 2, feedback.
Taken into account.
Yeah, literally, the last bit of Bungie news was people said, Bungie, your DLC is overpriced. You're asking for too much money. And they said, yeah, we're going to take feedback in. And now they're charging you too much money for a emote.
It obviously angers you, Jake, because you're a fan of the game, right?
Well,
you enjoy the game.
Well, I had a lot of fun times playing it, right? Co-op and stuff like that. But they're just adding things and changing things now. And I went back a couple of weeks ago and I'm just like, and then seeing all this and hearing them say, oh, we're going to change for the better. And they're getting worse.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm just not interested anymore, you know.
This is why I stay away from online multiplayer games as a service bullshit type games, because all they are a platform to try and take your money away from you. They give you the foundation of a game and then they throw little carrots out there. Oh, you want this part of the game? Oh, it only cost you $10. Oh, you want that part of the game? It'll only cost you another little microtransaction. It's bollocks, and it's horrible that the gaming industry has gone this way. I'm ranting now about a game I've never even played. That's what you do to me, Bungie. You f***ing shit. Sort it out. I'm even shouting now. You all love it because that's what I do. But
do you know this video started off as a positive video about Sony? And we'll tell you why right now.
So let's cheer things up and talk about Media Molecule, the developers behind the Little Big Planet series. They are currently working on their new game, Dreams. First announced in 2015, Dreams is a sandbox game which gives players the tools to create their own levels, items and characters, but it's going through a bit of a rough patch. Dreams was originally set to be released back in 2016, but multiple roadblocks in development has meant the release has been pushed back to 2018. In an interview with GamerHub TV, Dreams creative director Mark Healy spoke about the game's turbulent development and how Sony have been nothing but supportive. Healy confirmed the game had been rebooted twice during development, but Sony continued to support the game and the development team regardless. Healy also confirmed Dreams has been in development for 6 years, but the team is making great progress. Dreams is scheduled to release exclusively on the PS4 sometime this year. So it seems like Sony don't want to kill these developers' dreams, and they want to... Sorry.
Dreams, all right, that was so good. It just felt so normal and natural. I just thought it was part of the conversation. That's one for the thinkers.
That's the best, isn't it?
That went over my head. Yeah.
The best ones. You
And
just
I'm right
slip them
here.
in there, nobody notices, and they're like, "Oh, guys, you've done it again."
Dreams. That's gonna
There
get
you
you
go.
thinking.
To be fair to Sony, they've got a reputation for doing this, right?
Yeah.
John Garvin, who is the creative director behind Days Gone, actually said this in an interview at the end of last year in some sort of event where he said, "We're not rushed to develop our games because Sony have been really supportive, and they're saying if the game isn't ready, just take as much time as you want." Further consolidating the fact that Sony are being very supportive to their producing the exclusive titles that they produce. What we don't want is games rushed out the door, feature incomplete, in a state where it looks like something like early access. Something that Sony might have been criticised for, No Man's Sky. Maybe that was the turning point for them, and they decided to rethink about things and how they do things in the future based on all the shit that No Man's Sky got released. So although you might think that No Man's Sky was really bad and horrible, well, it might have turned into something really good for Sony.
Sony are quite good at taking their time with things, and like Platinum Games had this thing where they had Nier and they had Scalebound, Automata that is, went on to do some really good things, and loads of people liked it. It's got a cult following already. It's not even cult, it's a hit. Scalebound got cancelled. Do you know what I mean? It's like PlayStation are very good at keeping hold of their developers and stuff like that, and that can be fruitful for them as well, as we're about to find out. Oh, yes.
Nice segue. Well done.
And finally, with some more PlayStation-related news, according to figures from the NPD group, God of War had a better debut than any other PlayStation exclusive ever. NPD said God of War was not only the best-selling game in the United States for the month of April, but it outpaced all other PlayStation exclusives since the PlayStation brand began back in 1995. What makes God of War's debut so impressive is that it came out on April the 20th, meaning it was only out for 10 days in April, and it was still a best-selling game that month. God of War managed to beat out Far Cry 5, MLB 18, Nintendo Labo, and Donkey Kong Tropical Freeze for the #1 spot in April. This is great news for single-player games, with God of War's sales and critical acclaim showing people still care and want high-quality single-player experiences.
It is worth noting as well that God of War has been the number one selling game in the UK for 5 weeks running. The record was set by The Last of Us for 6 weeks in a row, right? So next week they will equal the record if they manage to keep it at #1 in the UK, which is in itself another record that's hopefully, or it may or may not break. So it seems to be doing well. It's an absolute juggernaut at this point. Critical acclaim across the board, 95% on Metacritic. What has anybody got to say bad about this game? I haven't heard a thing.
Yeah, apart from people that haven't played it, which they don't count really.
Oh, exclusives, man! They're so bad
yeah.
they're bad for the games industry.
People are saying that this is the new standard. I'm like, no, don't say that. That's an incredibly high standard to set. This is like the best PlayStation game ever in terms of sales and the critical. I don't know if it's the most critically acclaimed one ever, but it's certainly up there. Shows that, well, God of War 2, if they make one, it's probably going to be a system seller, isn't it? It's moved on to that territory now, which is interesting because the rumours that they shipped out PS5 dev kits and all the news this week about PS4 coming to the end of its life, which you might have seen that video on earlier this week. Could God of War 2 be one of those big launches as well? It'd be a very smart move for Sony, I think. Because
Horizon 2, God of War 2, all coming at the start of
system sellers,
next,
for sure. So yeah, nice one to God of War. Well, good game.
Well, good game.
Great critique from me there. Another click there as well. Getting it all today.
Fans seem to think that Bungie have just taken another dump on them with this decision to lock this emote behind a paywall. What do you reckon? Let us know down in the comments below. Like the video if you've enjoyed it. Subscribe if you're new around here. Check out another one of our videos on your screen there. Support us on Patreon using that link there. We will see you again in the next one. Until then, bye for now.